What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, February 2nd, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. So, looks like the US has just started a trade war with China, Canada, and Mexico. This is extremely serious, guys. I'm going to share some of the latest information I have about that, but before I get into that, we have some other concerning news. So in Latvia, the government over there is creating a storage facility for essential goods in the event of an invasion by Russia. This was explained by the Latvian Ministry of Economy. The plan calls for the creation of a reserve of essential supplies by December 31st of 2025. 16 million euros were allocated for this purpose. Okay, so Latvia storing up essential goods for their society because Russia is about to invade. And over the last week or two, I've been tracking all of the NATO recon flights in the Baltics and in northern Poland. So it looks like Putin is going to make his move on the Baltics. It's not a matter of if, but when. And earlier in the week, Russia sent Tu-160 nuclear bombers close to Alaska over the Arctic, clearly a nuclear bombing exercise and a show of force to Trump. Okay, so this is very, very serious. Also, the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed what Ukraine's president said, that Norwegian diplomats came under Russian attack with North Korean ballistic missiles in Odessa on the night of January 31st. Wow. Okay, so Norwegian diplomats attacked by North Korean ballistic missiles used by Russia in Odessa. And the Netherlands recently moved another 4 F-35s to Estonia to the Amari Air Base. And this is in addition to the already 4 F-35s they moved that have been used for the Baltic Air Policing Program since December the 1st. Okay, so the Netherlands moving 4 more F-35s to Estonia for a total of 8. It's not entirely clear how long they're going to stay there and for what purpose. Okay, so this is very concerning, guys. A lot of things going on in Eastern Europe. Now, want to just turn your attention back to some stuff here in the U.S. So the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, posted on Twitter yesterday that the primary NOTAM system has gone down in the U.S., okay, and the FAA was working to fully restore the system. Now, if you don't know what a NOTAM is, that's a notice to airmen. These are basically warnings and advisories for pilots. Okay, it tells pilots where they can fly, where they can't fly, restricted zones, turbulence zones, and whatever, security zones. Okay, they need to know these things when they're flying. And I find it interesting that the NOTAM system was experiencing some kind of an outage, and we had this crash in Philadelphia right before the outage, and then we had the crash in D.C., so 2 plane crashes, and then the NOTAM system goes down all within a span of 3 to 4 days. I don't think it's a coincidence, guys. I think somebody's hacking into our air traffic infrastructure, and they're trying to bring these planes down and cause chaos inside of our country. Okay, this could be a cyber attack, could be sleeper cells, we don't know. But something weird is going on with our air traffic system, okay? So if you're going to be flying anytime soon, I would highly recommend that you research thoroughly the airline you're going to be booking flights with, okay? And Mexico, Canada, and China officially announced yesterday retaliatory measures against the United States for Trump's imposition of tariffs. Okay, so Trump imposed 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and increased the existing tariffs on China by 10%. China vowed corresponding measures against Trump's new tariffs, and Trump also threatened to double the tariffs on Canada if they try retaliating. So that would mean 50% tariffs on Canada. Okay. Now, last night, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, came out and announced that they will be imposing a 25% tariff on us. Okay, so Canada is now going to impose 25% tariffs on $150 billion worth of American goods, which include beer, wine, bourbon, fruits, juices, perfumes, appliances, furniture, lumber, and plastic. And he also mentioned that potentially cutting off energy supplies is on the table as well. Canada exports a ton of oil to the United States. That's actually the biggest thing that we get from Canada is oil. Okay, we are heavily reliant on Canadian oil. Canada is a huge oil exporter to the US and around the world. So if they really want to, they could really mess us up if they cut off our oil, okay? So this is a very, very serious situation, guys. We are literally in the beginning stages of a trade war with Canada, our neighbor, and also Mexico, another neighbor of ours. But for the most part, we have had really good relations with Canada. They've been a strong ally of ours. They helped us out in numerous wars for, the last 100 years, okay, going back to World War II. So this is a very, very serious situation. I just want to play a clip from Justin Trudeau's statement last night so you can hear from the horse's mouth.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships.
Okay, so you hear what he said. He said we're also considering other measures, including critical minerals. Okay, so this could really get ugly, guys. Okay, and remember, when you impose a tariff on another country, yes, you're taxing that country, but then the suppliers raise the prices, okay, to make up for the extra tax. So potentially fuel prices could skyrocket, among other things, but especially fuel. We're going to have to watch this situation closely.
We will stand strong for Canada.
And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Panama for his first foreign visit since being sworn in as secretary. While there, he is expected to discuss immigration issues with Panamanian officials, while also reinforcing Trump's plan to reclaim control over the Panama Canal. And the U.S. is urging Ukraine to hold elections possibly by the end of the year, especially if a truce with Russia is reached in the coming months, according to President Trump's top Ukraine official. Keith Kellogg, Trump's special envoy for Ukraine and Russia, told Reuters that presidential and parliamentary elections suspended since the war began need to be done. He argued that most democratic nations hold elections during wartime and that doing so would strengthen Ukraine's democracy. That's the beauty of a solid democracy. You have more than one person potentially running, Kellogg said. And on February 1st, yesterday, Russia bombed an infirmary in their own country in the Kursk region. A Russian Ka-B glide bomb struck a boarding school inside of the Kursk region in Suja, which was sheltering elderly and infirm Russian civilians preparing for evacuation. Wow. And the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be arriving in D.C. today for talks with Trump, strategic talks. They're going to talk about Hamas and Iran, from what I understand. And the U.S. Department of Defense released video footage of their airstrike on an ISIS cell in Somalia. So here you can see this massive kaboom in Somalia. Look at that. Some pretty heavy ordnance being used there to annihilate these scumbags. And here we have some video footage coming out of the IRGC's new underground base. Okay, so the IRGC is part of the Iranian military. You can see here they have these trucks that can launch missiles for coastal defense applications. Okay, massive underground base. This is extremely concerning. And also, we had a Russian VIP plane fly from Cuba to Morocco. So some kind of Russian VIP was in Cuba recently. So that's the latest breaking news that I have. I wanted to share all this information with you. Looks like a trade war is beginning, and I want to remind you that a lot of trade wars precede actual kinetic wars, okay? Like World War I, the U.S. was pursuing a protectionist policy back then. We had a lot of tariffs, and then World War I broke out, okay? So it's possible that this could be a harbinger of World War III, okay? But very serious times we're living in, guys. Looks like Russia's planning to invade Latvia. Latvia stockpiling massive amounts of critical resources. And the Netherlands moving more F-35s to Estonia. Trump imposing massive tariffs on Canada, a big ally of the United States. Things are really getting crazy out there. So I will continue to monitor all these events, and I might be back later with another update. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.